Begin by going to www.zoom.us. There on the home page, you can see there's 3 different types of accounts. Most people are used to using the free account, which allows you to meet with one other person for unlimited number of hours. But if you want to meet with more than one person, you're limited to 40 minutes meeting time at a time. Using the One Pro account, all of our Way Forward teams participate in the video conference meeting. All right, so if you haven't used it before, you'll need to sign up and create an account. Or if you're already a Zoom user, go ahead and sign in. Here you can see the upcoming meetings, previous meetings, and information about your personal meeting room. And this is a URL that your team can use for instant meetings. Let's schedule a meeting. You first start out with the name. You can put a description in there. You can set what day you want to meet on in the future. There we go. And select a specific time. 11 is fine. You can switch it to AM or PM. You can set the duration amount. Make sure you've got the right time zone. If you need it, you can select reoccurring meeting. And there you can change the options so that the meeting URL is good every day, every week, every whatever. Okay, so make sure that your host and participant video is automatically on, and then make sure that the telephone and audio is on as well as a default. You can require people to use a password to log in, and you can type that password there for everyone, but I don't recommend it. And I do recommend that you enable Join Before Host. This allows your participants to meet whether you have started the meeting or not. All right, I mute participants upon entry just so that it doesn't make a bunch of noises, and you'll learn more about the meeting etiquette. So again, here's the URL that you would copy and share with others, but really, to get started, you want to copy the invitation because that has a bunch of useful information that your meeting members will need in case they need to connect through a phone. So you click here to copy the meeting information. There you can see it's copied onto my clipboard, and then I just simply email it to wherever. All right, so let's check out our account settings. Click here to toggle on or off on various meeting settings. This is your complete account setting. See that you can mute participants upon entry. You can enable chat in your meetings, do file transfers. You can have a co-host. You can do polling. There's tons of options, including whiteboard. Just take a look and see what else there is, and make sure that it matches your group's needs. Now you can also record your Zoom meetings. You can see I don't have any recordings on mine, but if you had some recordings, that's where they would be. All right, so if I was going to use the Zoom app, there it is, I could either click to join a meeting, and there I would type in that meeting ID number, which you can see right here, and it's the last numbers of the meeting URL, same thing. Of course, I can change my name or put whatever I want, and then I would click join. But this time what we're going to do is sign in. Let me put my login credentials. Okay. And this is the Zoom app dashboard. So here you've got all sorts of settings, just like in the video conference meeting itself. You can change your speaker, your audio, your camera. There I am. And you've got all sorts of other options. You can start your meeting with video. You can join a meeting. You can look at your schedule to see what meetings are coming up. Or you can share your screen if you happen to be in one of our conference rooms, which do have Zoom Room enabled. To share your screen, please click on that Share Screen button, and then you would type in that meeting ID or sharing code that you'll see on the TV screen in the conference room. You'll notice that when you launch a Zoom meeting, everyone starts muted. You can see that because there's a red line over my microphone, and I can unmute it by clicking on that microphone icon. And I click it again to mute. And yes, you can also press the space bar to mute or unmute. And you can turn off your video by clicking on the video icon and click on it again to turn it back on. Both of these up arrows will give you settings to modify how you want it to connect. So if I had a webcam connected, I'd have this FaceTime HD camera option and the webcam option available. And then of course you can work on your video settings there. Same thing with the audio. You can also invite people to your Zoom meeting by clicking on that invite button and typing in their email using your preferred email service. You can manage participants. Mine popped up as a standalone window because I'm in full screen, but if I was not in full screen, it would pop up on the side here. So all the people that pop up here, that's the people in your meeting. Right now it's just me, so there's no other options, but you can see that I can rename people. I can mute them, unmute them, I can turn off their camera if necessary, and there's a bunch more options here, so check those out. You can set up polling by clicking on the polling button, and I already had this one question set up. At the end you would just click launch poll and it would get it started. But normally it'll bring you to a different website where you can add or edit and create one question with whatever options you want, add more questions, type in whatever you want it to say, your answer options, change it to multiple choice if you want, and then always save. But I guess since I pressed escape, I got out of there. So you can record your Zoom meetings. Right now we have our master account set up so that all Zoom recordings get deleted after 10 days. However, because we have so many more Zoom users now and the same amount of storage space, we're most likely going to be changing that setting to delete recordings after 3 days. So you'll need to access your recordings within those 3 days or download them within those 3 days. That way you don't lose your meeting video. If someone can't attend your meeting or people in your team want to be able to review the meeting again to take better notes or whatever, share the URL for your recording and remind them to download it before the 3 days are up. Alright, so you've got a bunch of options on what to do for Zoom. If you are one of those teams that will be using a reoccurring meeting ID, or you're just going to use that personal ID, you press that but don't end meeting for all. Instead, select leave meeting. That makes it so that you can continue to use the same Zoom meeting ID. If you click on end meeting, then this meeting number is done. It's no longer accessible. So be careful about that. Now, some Zoom etiquette. Like I said, everybody starts out muted. When you want to be recognized so that you may speak in the meeting, raise your hand and the meeting facilitator will call on you to go ahead and take your turn speaking. So once that happens, you can now unmute, say what you need to say, and then mute again to allow someone else to speak. This helps prevent people from talking over others, especially if you're in the speaker view. You can't see if somebody else was trying to speak, but if instead you switch to gallery view, then you can see if other people are trying to speak. And you would normally have that option here, but because it's just me on this meeting, I can't switch it to gallery view. I can just go to full screen. Another thing you can do to help minimize the talking over people and confusion, if someone asks a question of the whole team, instead of raising your hand to speak, if all you need to say is I agree or yes, then you would do a thumbs up. If you don't agree, then you would do a thumbs down. And if you're kind of unsure, then you would do kind of like this. You can see I'm muted, and so nobody else could hear me. To give me the clue that, hey, something's wrong with your audio, is to do this. That way I can see, oh, am I muted, or do I need to change the microphone selection on my account? So good luck in your meetings, and if you need any additional help, feel free to contact me, C. Dillabo at dscumc.org, or reach out to our Communications Way Forward team members.